were very clear that the players, for their efforts and the amount of pressure they had, deserved to win that game. How have they responded in training this week after presumably a little bit of a break to freshen their legs up?
Yeah, I think the early part of the week, I think when you've not had a positive result on a Saturday, I think the early part of the week is always a little bit of a slow burner, and everybody needs to warm back into the week again and get the weekend's result out of your system. So yeah, after a couple of days, I thought they trained really well Monday and Tuesday, and they've trained well again today. So yeah, no great issues or any issues at all with that.
And you'd never pretended that there wouldn't be bumps in the road along the way, did you? So I guess this is one that you and the squad have got to deal with.
You've got to deal with them all the time. You can be top of the table and have bumps in the road. It's a nicer place to be when you have bumps in the road. But look, at the end of the day, you're not going to go from a team that had won perhaps 4 games this season, and I don't know whether it was something like 9 or 10 games in 70 odd, something like that. Someone mentioned that, so I don't know how accurate that is, but to win 9 or 10 games in 70 odd matches, it's not good. And don't forget, there's been a lot of change here, not only this season, but last season as well there was change. So it's been on rocky ground, I suppose, for a little while, and lots of changes have happened at the football club. So yeah, it's difficult, I would imagine, for everybody to deal with.
On that basis, how much can you try and be that consistent voice for the players, which I guess that's something that they need as well?
Oh, I'll be consistent. There's absolutely no dangers about me being consistent. That is something I will be. So there isn't really any sort of grey areas with me. I like to think I look after the players, I coach them, I work hard for them, I do lots of other things in and away from football for them. So, pretty much how I've been throughout my career, really.
You're back at home this weekend. How important is it that you can build on the momentum, not just on the pitch, but off the pitch as well, around it, from the Tranmere and Wrexham games?
Yeah, to be honest, being home or away, it doesn't matter too much when you want to build momentum, because if we go and get a result this week and then we play Bradford, are we thinking then that we don't want to keep any momentum going? So no's the answer to that. Obviously, being at home, what you want is you want the boys to be aggressive in the game and take the game to the opposition and pass the ball well and be right up for the game, and then what happens is the fans jump on board with that, don't they? So that's really what you do want.
And that's beginning to happen, isn't it, in terms of the backing from the fans? They can see what you're trying to do, and they can see that it's picked up results as well.
Yeah, I think so. And it's very, very difficult, like I said before, when you're down there to all of a sudden change it into playoff form or something like that. But I think that the performances have certainly warranted more points than we've got. I can't speak about that before, because the guys before me could have turned around and said, well, that was the same for us as well, and it may well have been. But yeah, certainly since I've been here, we've warranted certainly more from the games that we've lost, and arguably in the games that certainly one of the games that we've drew, potentially there was maybe a positive result in there with that one. But you can't look back too much, but there has been, as you say, an upturn in performances, and we've just got to try and keep them performances going and turn them into wins. But yeah, I think the supporters they've been great since I've been here. Really, really do.
And the performances at ways at Barrow and against Wrexham, that you can go and get results against teams who are flying high, which is something that you'll need against Walsall this weekend.
Yeah, of course. We give everyone full respect anyway, so there won't be anything, that we won't give to any other team, whether it be Walsall or whoever it is. We'll give full respect to them, because if you don't do that, you'll get beat anyway. So we've given full respect to them. We've trained really, really hard this morning. Both ways really, in the classroom and out on the pitch. So we'll finish that off tomorrow, the rest of our prep, and then hopefully we've done enough of it and done well enough, and the players have done well enough to take that confidence into the game at the weekend.
And what do you make of Walsall?
Well, they've been good, haven't they? Certainly of late anyway. They're on a really good run at the moment. I think momentum is everything. We've spoken about that, and just before that they had a not so good run. So yeah, they've got good momentum with them at the moment. They've done very well, but really, for me, a lot of our focus, we don't ignore the opposition and their strengths. But we've got to just make sure that we play well, because if we play well, that will give us a chance to win most games.
Ryan Ennis back available from suspension. How big a boost is that for you? Because that defensive unit of him, Rich Keogh and Jordan Moore-Taylor has looked really secure when you've been able to get them together.
Yeah, I mean, the sending off of Ryan we thought was really, really tough on him. It's quite obvious that he slips on that last yellow card, so we felt as though that was harsh. He's carried a little bit of a groin problem for a little while now, so it's given him some opportunity to have some rest with that, and also to go and see a specialist and find out exactly where he's at with it. So he's had a bit of an enforced break the last 2 games, but we'll just wait and see how he is now and see what happens after the specialist visit.
And have you got anyone else coming back from injury and illness? Because obviously you had a couple who were ill last week. Yeah,
I mean, Nathan's still a little bit under the weather. He'd pick up some bugs, so yeah, we don't quite know what had happened there. And Darnell had the same, so they seemed to be a little bit, flying around last week. So, whilst we could have done with them being available to us, there was no point in those guys mixing in with the group. So we just would need to wait and see how they are. I'm certainly expecting one of them to be better than the other at the moment.